Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, That Creepy Reading, and today I want to present to you some amazing content. What amazing content? Well, Netflix is a fantastic site that has some amazing original shows that I didn't know about till very recently, and I like to share it with you because I was kind of surprised to discover these shows myself. Sure, you can subscribe to this site and watch the plenty of reruns of Family Guy or other billions of animated comedies on there.
Oh, yes! Yes! Oh, hang on a second.
And I know what you guys are all thinking at this point. This is some sort of sponsored content. Creepy, you've betrayed us. Oh, the humanity. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I just watched a bunch of Netflix and I found some really good content I would like to share with you guys. And, you know, Netflix, if you are watching, please, for the love of God, sponsor me. I'll make more of these. My ad revenue's in the toilet. I'm making pennies. These are the top 5 horrific Netflix originals. Number 1. A series of unfortunate events. This show clearly is not for everyone, but it has something that I honestly thought was missing in today's market. Mystery and horror for, get this, children. While the show itself can be enjoyed by adults like myself, I think that people between the ages of 12 and 16 will be able to get the most entertainment for their time. The show centers around the Baudelaires, 3 children who have been outcasted by general society due to the simple fact that their parents were horribly burned in a fire. While the banker and various other handlers have a facade that makes one think that they have the Baudelaire's best interests in heart, the show, in a mildly wacky way, makes it very clear that none of these guys have really anyone's interests but their own. Basically, this show's plot is just a series of unfortunate events that keep you making go, for all Cthulhu's sake, why can't one thing just go right? Throughout the long episodes, you get plot threads for a underlying mystery that unfortunately are not revealed by the end of the first season. The mystery elements are amazing, but what really makes a show worth watching, considering that the underlying mystery is not solved, is the way that they do wordplay. Patrick Warburton as Lemony Snicket is one of the best choices one could have, well, chosen for said role. The dry delivery with word choices that lead to a sort of deadpan, in-your-face humor is not only hard to ignore, but hard to hate. This humor is what in fact makes it not for everyone. Neil Patrick Harris as Olaf. I love the guy, and I love Olaf the character, but the way people react to him is almost played up for laughs. Here we have this weird potential pedo dude trying to steal the fortune and potentially the lives of 3 children, and no one seems to have any love or care that he seems to keep popping up. I think that as a joke, it's funny the first time, but after he murders a couple of people and, you know, he acts incredibly weird and pedophilic, it's kind of really hard to take the whole story seriously when no one else seems to react to the same gravity that the situation implies. And this is all sacrificed for a single joke. One of the most pertinent conflicts in the original stories was the continuous theme that every adult could have resolved the mountain of issues the Baudelaire children had to keep running from just by paying a little bit of attention. However, because these issues were very inconvenient for the adults at the hand of the Baudelaires, they were ignored, and because of this, they had no real way to deal with not only the very real threat Olaf provides, but they have to deal with the emotional hurt and distress that no one, despite how intelligent they are, no matter how worded their pleas, every cry for help would just end in silence, leading to a true feeling of helplessness. However, in the show, one can't help but feel that the conflict is somewhat artificially created for the sake of humor. It could have been handled better. The show is not for everyone, but if you give it a chance, I'm pretty sure you won't be that disappointed. Daredevil is number 2. Netflix sponsor me. Marvel seems to be on a winning streak no matter how you look at it. And trust me, if we go further down this list, I'm gonna have hidden gems. I just want to get this out of the way. The movies seem to always break box office numbers of every subsequent release. And now the home television market is starting to get cornered by this show single-handedly, and it's easy to see why. This show boasts great color palettes, such as plenty of oranges, reds, and earthy colors, which kind of contrast with Daredevil and his costume perfectly. But it also has some nightlife colors, such as pinks, purples, and dark blues, which lead to an aesthetically pleasing look that the movies, like the most recent Civil War, seem to lack. Have you noticed that they lack color grading and use basic settings that are from the digital camera that can be easily fixed with color grading? Please look it up. It's actually pretty interesting, but back to the list. To compound everything, including the great color choices, cinematography, and fight choreography, all that is top-notch, especially something that was made for a TV show. I was honestly surprised to see the titular Daredevil sit on top of a thug and simply start beating down on him. Watching this man move is damn near hypnotic. Listening to Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock speak is just entertaining as hell, and it leads to a pleasant viewing experience that I recommend wholly. But honestly, when it comes to superhero shows, I'm kinda burnt out. If they make a Spider-Man show, I will throw them all of my yes, and I will start watching it. You also may ask why I suggest this above other superhero shows like Luke Cage. In general, I think Daredevil has a darker theme that the rest of you guys may enjoy. I mean, hell, in the first episode, you see a bloody corpse. It's pretty gruesome. Number 3, Making a Murderer. This American documentary series explores the trials and tribulations of a man simply known as Stephen Avery. Honestly, watching this documentary will fuel every little conspiracy-riddled bone in your bodies. Stephen Avery was arrested and convicted of the sexual assault of Penny Bernstein, despite having an alibi. After 18 years in prison, Avery was exonerated with the aid of the Innocence Project. When the DNA in the case was matched to another man, Avery proceeds to sue the county for the lengthy prison time he endured. However, just as the legal proceedings get underway, he is again arrested for the murder of a woman named Teresa Halbach. This time, they have evidence linking him. However, the documentary explores the possibility of this being a cover-up to discredit his $36 million lawsuit. This is one of the best directed documentaries I've seen in a long time. And with how it makes a statement on the current police state and how things are working right now in general, I think that this is just one of the coolest little gems on Netflix. If you like shows like Forensic Files, 2020, or just documentaries in general, I can't recommend this enough. Number 4, Stranger Things. Quite a few people come to my channel because I present horror-based content. They're often sick of the mainstream horror community, which honestly is pretty terrible. However, there is this new show that honestly had a scene that actually scared me. It's not like I was struggling to get out of bed and walk down the dark, dim hallway of my house or something of that like, but there was one scene in the first episode that was set up so well, that was executed in a manner that was just a masterstroke of true horror genius, that I am now hooked and actually looking forward to finishing the series. Normally, for a series video like this, I would only watch one episode and kind of give my own critique and suggest it for further viewing or something of the like. But I am actually struggling to pull myself away from this one. To describe this in layman's terms without spoiling it wholly, it's kinda hard, but I'll do my best. Cross creepypasta with aliens, put a dash of supernatural, finally bake it all in using 1980s nostalgia and charm, and you got Stranger Things. The cinematography oftentimes is very claustrophobic. There are very few shots that show an entire room. Very often, you find a camera glued to the back of someone like a third-person video game. The camera will linger on someone for a while other times the camera will move in a janky manner, which kind of suggests or is supposed to signify that you're looking through the eyes of a stalking monster or something of the like. Really, the camera feels like its own character, which is very reminiscent of the movie It Follows. But, of course, with the whole 1980s thriller twist. Stranger Things is always throwing things at you. Characters that feel human and a plot that is not entirely explained, but has enough intrigue behind it to really hook you along and make you want to learn more. The plot itself, at least in the first couple episodes, is not too hard to digest and allows you to organically immerse yourself in the time and world that this show is trying to present to you. It lets the horror and gravity of the situation just sink in, and it's just a well-produced show with great camera work, sound design, and a real focus on horror. Anyone above the age of 14 can get into the show, and I cannot wait to watch more myself. And finally, number 5, Hemlock Grove. This show is strange to me. It honestly tickles my fancy when it comes to horror category, and it has this blunt way of presenting horror to you. It kind of reminds me of American Horror Story with how truly disturbing the characters are at present to the audience. The dialogue of the show feels somewhat unnerving and real, even if the initial characters that you're introduced to are just kind of dicks and really hard to care about. I only seen a couple of episodes so far, so, I'll probably have an update to this when I watch more. So let's start with the positive first. The makeup and creature design are top tier. I wish actual movies put this much attention and detail into the latex work. Some of these things just look downright disgusting, and to be honest, that is one of the best aspects about the show. The next thing to point out is the sound work. While I don't think the show had moments of genuine fear that Stranger Things presented, I do think that Hemlock has some sound design that truly made me cringe as those little waves of sound tickled my ears. It has this weird fuzzy filter that gives everything this weird, cool, dreamlike atmosphere and uses colors that are just odd with plenty of yellows, browns, whites, while occasionally swapping color palette to dark blues, reds, and browns. In reality, it presents this great atmosphere, which I can't wait to explore more in future installments. Sadly for me, this show fails to present any good characters in the first couple of episodes to latch onto, which makes it hard to really relate or identify if any of the characters. While it's a great initial hook later in the episodes, I still struggle to get into the show itself, and it wasn't as watchable as Stranger Things. But for those of you who like horror and would love to watch a TV show based on it, Hemlock Grove is honestly one of your best guests. Please, give it a shot, and you won't be disappointed. This has been Top 5 Netflix Originals, and if you guys would like me to do like Top Hulu Originals or talk more about television and other things in general, let me know. I think these videos might be another good source for ad revenue, and I was able to pump the script out fairly quickly. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and please, guys, if you wouldn't mind considering donating on Patreon, the ad revenue is kind of down, and in order to keep the show running, i.e. my rent and apartment paid for, I'm probably going to be needing to pull in some external revenue, and I don't want to turn into sponsored content in order to fill the gaps. So honestly, it'll help a lot if you just help the show in any way you can. You can either donate, share the show, watch it, leave a like, a comment, anything will do. This has been your host, Zach Creepy Reading, and today I'm signing off. Enjoy.